see how it turned out?
Oh, it's film. I'll have to send it to you.
Okay.
You took a pic?
Yeah, I just shoot film on it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, cool. All right, sick.
All right, bro.
All right, Dylan. Cool, man. Justin.
Thank you.
Likewise. It's only a matter of time until I have to surrender my Leica M3 back to the shop to have the flash port fixed on it. I've been a little bit hesitant to take it back because it's just a bummer of a thing to have to replace. But also I've been just thinking about what am I gonna shoot film with when I take the M3 back to the shop, because I don't have anything until I realized, because we're currently moving storage units, and there was one Pelican case that felt a little light. And when I opened it up, this camera, without the lens attached, no body cap, just like this, laying inside the Pelican case without the strap too. And I totally forgot I had this camera. In fact, the only reason I do have it is because of this lens right here, the 24-50 f4 Minolta Rokkor. Absolutely love this compact zoom lens. I've used this quite a bit in my video work. That's why I originally picked it up. To show you the scale of some of the projects I've used this on, this is one of the newest music videos that I was the director of photography on for Poison the Well. This 24-50 was actually used on that music video, which is funny because you can get this lens for less than $100. And when I bought this on eBay about 4 years ago or something, I forgot that it came attached with this old Minolta XD film camera. Now, back at the time that I bought this or picked this up, I had no desire for film at all, I'm ashamed to admit. So it just kind of was sitting on the shelf of my old office just as like decoration. Anyways, that's the backstory on that. And I brought it home and threw a couple little batteries in the bottom of it and took it out for a little test roll. Everything seemed to be working good on it. I kept very meticulous notes on every single frame that I did with that first roll of Kentmere 400. Everything just came back awesome. It was the second roll where things got a little weird. This is why I don't do talking heads outside anymore. It just sounds like you're like in the middle of Apocalypse Now or something. Yeah, I don't want to do this. Changed my mind. All right, that's a little better. All right, so some people are still going to be upset that I'm still using Ilfosol 3, but guys, it lasts forever. That's one of the reasons why I like using it so much. You know, you buy a 500 milliliter bottle, it only takes 25 milliliters per roll of film. So you do the math, you can get a lot of rolls out of one 500 milliliter of Ilfosol 3, but don't fret, all of my naysayers and haters of Ilfosol. After the massive black and white video, the 19 rolls, you know, by the way, I appreciate all the comments and feedback that we got on that video. And so because of it, I did pick up a bag of D76 powder. So as soon as that Ilfosol 3 is done, then we'll move on and we'll see what everybody's raving about. But bear in mind, these were all processed and developed myself with Ilfosol 3 and Negative Lab Pro. But you can see this test roll came out just fine. There's no issues, or I didn't think there were any issues with this camera. I was kind of blown away by its auto exposure modes. This was one of the first cameras ever, if not the very first camera ever, to have both aperture and priority mode along with full manual mode all in one. I think this came out in like 1976 or something. By the way, I am a huge fan of Minolta Rokkor lenses. If you have not seen the video on my other channel, it has over 100,000 views. It was like my ultimate Minolta Rokkor buying guide. I'm just in love with the Minolta lenses. So if you didn't see that yet, I will tag it at the end of this so you can check it out as soon as you're done watching this video. I was most stoked about this camera because of all of the automatic exposure modes that it offers. The biggest thing I struggle with, if you watch enough of the videos here, exposure. Exposure is the #1 thing I struggle with, specifically with the Leica M3, because it's a fully manual camera. Funny thing is, it's one of the reasons I love shooting on the Leica M3 is because it doesn't require any batteries at all. Zero electronics are in that thing. I do really love that, but it causes the way I shoot to really, you know, I really struggle with it because I'm just such a high-strung, chaotic street shooter. I'm a little out of control, you know, and I don't have time to evaluate every single shot. And frankly, I just don't care that much. It's just a bunch of crappy, happy snaps, right? Let's just be real here. So having a camera that is kind of like a point and shoot, but with the ability to have some really amazing lenses on it and still have full control of that manual focus. I love zone focusing. I love it to death. So because of that, this camera has a lot of appeal to me where I'm like, damn, maybe my obsession with shooting on a Leica rangefinder, maybe one day I'll be a rich man and I can afford the M7 with its aperture priority mode. But until then, I may just have to take a step back and go, you know what, it's okay if I lean into something a little different for the way I shoot. You know, I should be using the tools that cater to my specific needs, you know, and I'm just not the kind of person right now that can take advantage of something like a fully manual rangefinder and really excel with it. Obviously, if I'm just out here doing pictures like this with just boring cars in my neighborhood or something, well, yeah, anybody can do a fully manual mode like that. But when I'm out shooting street, a camera like this can really come in handy. So check this out. For the second roll, I took it to downtown LA. Just check this out. This was just boom, off the cuff, just point and shoot style. And look at the automatic exposure of this camera. Now, there is a hidden priority mode with this XD Minolta. A lot of people didn't know about it, and I think the next camera to fully come out and claim something as priority mode was the Canon camera. And Minolta were kind of standing around going, hey, we already have that. They just weren't calling it anything, because with this being the first camera to have both aperture and shutter priority mode with the launch of the new MD lenses, right? So this only works if you have MD Rokkors. An MC Rokkor, you're not going to be able to take advantage of this hidden priority mode that the XD offers. And bear in mind, the XD11, the XD7, the plain XD, they're all the same exact camera. As Minolta liked to do, they had different kind of notations and insignia depending on what market the camera or lens was selling in. As long as you're using an MD lens, you can take advantage of this hidden priority mode, right? You set your lens to the smallest aperture, which will be green on an MD Rokkor. The 1/25th of a second shutter speed will be green as well. And then the shutter priority is also colored green. So this was Minolta's little hidden thing for green for go. And it actually does say it in the original user manual. They just weren't calling it priority mode because they didn't think to call it anything. And what takes it a step further, this thing has exposure compensation +2, -2. So when I went out shooting in downtown LA, keeping in mind, knowing myself, knowing how I shoot very chaotically, I just put this thing on green for go, all things set to green, and +1 on the exposure comp, and check out what we got out there.
See how it turned out?
Oh, it's film. I'll have to send it to you.
Okay.
God damn it. Did not have it wound. Dang, this roll's almost done. We're almost getting to the opticolor now. We're almost there. We're almost ready. perfect. Hopefully it doesn't cost more than $100 to do like a full overhaul CLA on this old Minolta camera. I'm hoping that, you know, we can fix some things. It used to show the shutter speed inside. What's cool about this, the way the meter works is you still get your aperture stops on the side along with the meter. If you're in shutter priority, if you're in aperture priority, you get your shutter speeds alongside with the meter. There's also a little mirror inside the viewfinder so you can see what f-stop you're on, and it changes as you change it on the lens. There's also supposed to be a little mirror in there showing you your shutter speed, like the actual speed that you're on. So when you change the shutter dial, you can see it changing real time. This one, the mirror fell down for that shutter speed, so I'm hoping we can get that fixed in the overhaul. It's one of the bummers of the M6. When you change the shutter speed, you don't get to see what you're changing it to. You're just adjusting it because of the meter. So it's kind of a bummer. So it will be nice if we get that fixed on this one. The hot shoe still works on this. I was able to use my Leica SF20 flash on this. So it just kind of has everything I need. You even get a little viewfinder window blocker if you're in bulb mode or something to kind of block any stray light coming in from the viewfinder. And the multi-exposure. So you can see here, I took a triple exposure and then I went a little slap happy and did 10 exposures in one, and it got a little out of control. However, on that second roll from downtown, you can see here where this double exposure was a complete accident. I do not know how that happened. Also, what I found on the second roll is the shutter lockup, which happens on these cameras. I guess it's a known issue to where you can advance, but you're not actually advancing the film. It sounds like the film fell off of the take-up spool. It's the weirdest thing. There definitely needs to be some work done on this, and hopefully we can get it all sorted out. And hopefully it doesn't cost a lot. I mean, I can't imagine a camera like this, you know, would be like a $400 price tag like what it is to CLA, a Leica rangefinder. So I'm hoping the Minolta XD doesn't get the Leica tax, even though this camera was the chassis for the R4 and the R5, because this camera was put out during the beginning of the Minolta Lights partnership. So this really is like the poor man's Leica, especially when you combine it with this 24-50, because one of my dream Leica lenses is the 24-35-50 Tri-Elmar lens. Oh, I love that lens, specifically the 49mm front, but that is like a $4,000 Leica M lens that I probably will just never own. So, you know, this one, basically the same thing, but you get a bonus focal length in here, the 24mm, which really comes in handy for point and shoot style. So apparently the XD was one of the last all brass construction cameras to come from Minolta. You really feel the quality of it. Apparently the next iteration was the X700, and by that point they had moved on to all plastic, sadly. So this is one of the last good ones out there. Also, if the batteries die in this thing, because it takes two little LR44 batteries, if those go kaput, you can put this thing in O mode, which is basically 1/100th of a second. In full manual mode, 1/100th of a second, and it will still fire even if your batteries die. So worst case scenario, you'll still have a 1/100th of a second speed camera until you can get a couple more batteries and pop it in there. Other than that, let me know what you think about the Happy Snaps. Be sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're almost at 1,000 subs. I'm super stoked on that. I'm hoping we can make it to 1,000 subscribers by the new year. What a killer way to bring it in. Yeah, that's going to do it. We'll see you in the next one.
And if you have the proper luck and the holy endurance, the gods just might deliver.